As you may have heard, Game 2 of the NBA Finals tips off tonight. The New York Knicks have secured the first win against the Spurs, and just about everybody has been talking about this one.
The Knicks swept.
The New York Knicks are heading back to the finals, people.
For the first time in nearly 3 decades.
New Yorkers are in a very celebratory mood today.
An epic NBA Finals matchup begins.
The Knicks superstar leading New York on a thrilling comeback.
It is the hottest ticket and toughest ticket arguably New York sports has ever encountered.
And that's big because New York is a place with plenty of sports, plenty of tickets, plenty of options, but this one is different. Mayor Mamdani signing a fun executive order that purports to cancel kids' bedtimes so that they have the city's support, staying up as late as they want to finish these games. Now, it's a New York story, but for the Knicks, it's also about overcoming being an underdog, having patience and perseverance. They're not the only team, of course, that's gone down this road, but they haven't been to the finals in 27 years. And they haven't won a championship since all the way back in 1973.
My mayor Muslim, my bagel's Jewish, my Christian New York. I'm gonna make a brand new start of it in old New York.
The energy's enthusiastic, infectious, diverse, big crowds. We have the perfect guest lined up tonight, a former Knicks player, of course, and Democratic United States Senator Bill Bradley. I'll remind everyone he played for the Knicks during their only championship-winning years, 1970 and 73, banking 10 seasons in total. He helped secure a gold medal for the U.S. basketball team at the 64 Olympics. He is, of course, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And he took that following and fame, and in 1979, took it to politics, where you might remember he was a Democratic U.S. Senator representing New Jersey for 20 years, running as a liberal for president, and went for that nod against Al Gore in 2000, pushing the party a little bit to the left, progressive for his time on several issues.
We want to help working families pay for their health insurance.
First thing I'd do is make the Voting Rights Act permanent. I wouldn't let it expire every period of time. Racial profiling is a deep and serious issue. It challenges all of us. I think what we need in this country today is registration and licensing of all 65 million handguns.
What a career, and he's not over. He's stayed involved in politics. You can see him there with Barack Obama. He also hosts a serious radio show, American Voices. He and Republican John Danforth working on a new project about reaching across party lines. You are really wrapped up in American history, sir, and like I said, you're not done. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure, Ari, to be on your show. I really admire you.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, it's very nice of you to say. So we'll start with the sports here, obviously. Knicks going into Game 2. What would the coach be telling them in the locker room? How do you look at this matchup?
I think that the Knicks simply have to go out and play like they have been playing. They're winning because they're confident and they're playing with confidence. I mean, coming back in the fourth quarter at the first game of the Cleveland series and now the first game of the Spurs series, that makes a big difference. They're playing unselfishly. They have discipline. They have resilience. And I'm sure he's going to say, we just got to go out and do what we do best, and then we can win. And don't let it up.
Yeah, there are ways that the game has changed over these decades. What do you think are the fundamentals that still apply? What do you tell a team like this when obviously talent is high, pressure is high, and that's what makes championships sort of such a special case?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are changes since I played three-point rule as an example of that. But you tell people the same thing. Players help out on defense, hit the open man, You got to go push it up the floor. And if you got an open shot, take it. But always look for somebody that has a better shot than you do and get the ball to them, because then the other side can't key on you. They have to play defense against everybody.
Why did it take this long? People talk about this is a franchise where players want to live in New York or be based here compared to some other places. You could get into the management, which is a running conversation, ownership in New York. And yet it's taken a really long time. You have any view on that since you are, of course, back to the championship team yourself?
Well, to me, you mean why is it taking since 73? That's a long, long story. I think the key point now is that a lot of the values that we manifested when we played back in the 70s are now being manifested by the current Knicks. I mean, the unselfishness, you can't underestimate the importance of that. If you go out on the court and your objective is to take the best possible shot and get your teammate the best possible shot, that's a little different than going out seeing how many points I can score. And I don't think that any one of the Knicks cares about how many points they score as long as they get the best shots and they win the game. And they play tough defense in the process. And to me, that's why they are where they are.
Yeah. What do you think about how sports can unite a city, or in the Olympics, they can unite a country, and you've had the experience in both, in a way that's different from the other things that we spend all our time fighting about? I've lived in New York a long time, and people talk to each other straight up. You walk around Brooklyn, you could talk to anybody, but you could debate anybody. And then something like this is happening, and the photos tell the story. People are so united across every other line you can think of. What do you think about all that tonight? Does that give us any hope beyond sports?
I think it's a beautiful moment. It is a message that says we have something in common. We can share something important for all of us. And we can champion the values that we see demonstrated, in this case, by the Knicks as they play. And for New York City, it means, be a little more generous. I mean, a Knicks player is generous to his teammate. A Knicks player is considerate of his teammates. And I think that it's kind of a nice little message for all people in New York to live their life to the fullest by giving to another human being. And to me, that's a nice thing.
Yeah. Last thing I'll ask you is, I am familiar with your career. What's the rule of thumb or the tip you would give for someone who looks and says, gosh, go play at the top of a sport, win a championship, play in the Olympics, go run for office, win there? I mean, you did a lot of winning. Run for president. You're still at it. You're not someone who seems to have just completely kicked back, or you could have. What's your tip for someone who might, want to do some of those things? Not everyone wins a championship and serves in the Senate. What's your tip?
Be clear about what your strengths and weaknesses are. Go out and pay the price. Have the discipline to develop your skills. And recognize if you got to love people. If you're going to in politics, you got to love people, which means you got to love their stories. That's what, I've done 1,500 interviews on American Voices. And basically what I'm doing is I'm doing interviews with people about their lives. When I used to walk the Jersey Shore every summer, in every community along the 127-mile shore, people would come up and tell me their life stories, their stories. I love that. And that's what you have to do. You have to appreciate human beings and their diversity and their difficulties and their dreams. And if you do that, it can be a great experience.